I see you all. Come on. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. La 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 We're going to turn to page 12 and we're going to sing Shiru Ladonai. Join along as always.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to those of you joining us on Zoom. We love having you here and getting to see your faces, participating with us, singing along. For those of us who are joining us via live stream, we want to remind you that you can come into the Zoom with us on Friday nights and join us, so we get to see you when you see us. But either way, we love having you join us from our living rooms to your living rooms. We love sharing this time with you. We'll continue our service with Lecha Dodi on page 23. And a reminder, when we get to that very last verse of Lecha Dodi, that we'll rise and everyone will face the entrance of whatever room you are currently in.
page 39A.
Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night, the alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Baravim. Please join with me, Shema, page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. We continue silently. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
We'll continue our service with Micha Mocha. We're on page 44 if you have a Siddur Lev Shalem, or just join along and sing with us.
And the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamacha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, oseh felet. So tonight, I want to introduce a new Micha Mocha, not Micha Mocha, but a new Hashkivenu. It's by a wonderful younger composer named Eliana Light, and it was written particularly for this time, and it's called Shelter Us in Place. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Try it with me. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Hush me then, Elohim, hush me again, hush me banner. Hush me banner. Hush me shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love, shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Hush me, baby. Hush me, baby. Hush me, Wash me, just a little different. Look forward to hearing your feedback. Not on Shabbat, but I would love to hear your ideas. We're going to join together in Vishamru, page 40, I can read it, 46. Vishamru, Israel, et Hashavat, Masotek Hashavat, et Zotamit Olam. Vishamru, Israel, et Hashavat, Masotek Hashavat, et Zotamit Olam. Beini uven bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael, et Hashavat, Masotek Hashavat, et Zotamit Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et Hashavat, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash. Vishamu b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, Masot et hashavat, v'torot havutzonah.
I want you to take a moment and picture how you think the ancient Israelites worshiped God. Before there were prayer books and Torah scrolls and synagogues and a bima, they had a temple where they made sacrifices. But what about before they got there? What about when they're still wandering through the desert on the way to the promised land? How did they worship then? We know that they had a mishkan, a tabernacle, this temporary worship space, sort of almost a temporary dwelling place for God among them as they traveled. And I want you to imagine it for a moment. Try to picture it. What things do you think would have been on the ancient Israelites' minds? What things do you think they would have needed and wanted in their prayer space when they worshiped God? Prayer meaning something a little different than what we mean today, but what physical objects would they need? I want you to imagine the physical space. And here's where I'm going to ask you a question, and you can unmute yourselves if you'd like to help us out and answer for everyone. In your imagining of the physical space, what items do you imagine would have been most important in setting up this tabernacle, this tent of meeting where the Israelites worshiped God? What items, what objects do you think would have been present? You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself if you have an idea. And let me tell you, there are really no wrong answers, because I can't tell you, well, that definitely wasn't there. So what do you think? What items would you imagine would be there? Judy, was that a hand? Yeah, okay, wait, unmute yourself.
I would think they'd some kind of holy light.
Holy light, yes. In fact, we know there was a menorah there with 7 oil lamps. Great, we're gonna come back to that actually. Okay, yeah, Car, is that a hand? Yeah, unmute yourself.
Okay. The bread that they put out, I think we learned.
Say that again?
The bread that they put out, I think we learned about that in Hebrew school. Where they put out
Great.
the 3 loaves of bread.
Okay, bread that they would put out, excellent. What else? What else could you imagine? Here's a hint. When the Israelites were leaving Egypt, what things did they take with them, right? They're wandering in the desert because they've since having left Egypt. Okay, Bob, is that, or Tori, is that a hand? Unmute yourself first.
Unmute me.
You're good, you're unmuted.
Are we still muted?
You're unmuted. Tell us, what do you think, Tori?
Wine.
Wine. Okay, yeah, great. Gotta have wine. So here's another hint. We know the Israelites had left Egypt, right? And we were thinking about what things they brought with them. We know that the Israelites had taken valuables with them, right? They took valuables from the Egyptians, and we believe that those were probably in the Mishkan with them. We also know they had an Ark of the Covenant in the Mishkan, but I want to come back to Judy's answer actually about light. She said there has to have been some source of light, some kind of holy light. And that light, that menorah actually with the 7 oil lamps, is the subject of the very beginning of this week's Parsha. And it's a very heavily emphasized item as compared to the other things we believe to have been in the Mishkan. We have instructions on how to light it, how it's made, how to position the lamps, etc. So the question is, why? Why would the Torah pay so much attention to this one specific detail, the menorah, the light? And it's interesting, of course, that's the first one that you all thought of. The first thing Judy thought of, it, there has to be some holy light. Emet ve'amunah, which is this foundational writing of the conservative movement, gives us one answer. We believe that God shines a light on us. That's what it means that we are God's chosen people. We are lit up, illuminated. We're supposed to be sort of noticeable among all the other nations. And so it's our job to always be increasing that light, to be a light unto the nations. And that means that as Jews, our existence must always transcend our own self-interest. It means that we must always be working to build a more just and compassionate world. It means that we have to set an example for others of what it means to live a life in relationship with God, in covenant with God. May every word we speak and every step we take bring us closer to fulfilling those words, that being a light unto the nations is core to who we are as Jews and core to our sacred covenant with God. We'll continue our service now with Chatzi Kaddish. We're in the middle of page 46, and we'll say Chatzi Kaddish as we start preparing for the Amidah. Middle of page 46, Chatzi Kaddish.
Just getting my capo here, because you won't like the key I play it in if I don't put it on. So, easy, yai lai lies. I know for some of you who have headaches, you might not appreciate the yai lai lie, but try to yai lai lie with me anyway and breathe. Yai lai lai lai, lie lie lie.
We'll prepare now for the Amidah. We'll invite you to rise. We're on page 47, and we'll start with the first 6 words out loud together, and then we'll invite you to take some time for personal prayer from page 47 through 52 for the Amidah.
Adonai Satai Tifto Adonai Satai Tifto Ufi Hakim Tiftok Adonai Sfatai Tiftok. Ose shalom bimroma, Uya se shalom aleinu, Ve'al Yisrael, Ve'al Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru.
There are so many of us right now who are really in need of healing of all kinds, physical, emotional, spiritual. I know all of us are in need of some kind of healing or another, and we all know people who are in need of even more healing than that. So let's have everyone in mind, everyone who could use some healing, let's bring them to mind as we join together in Rifa'inu.
Rifa'inu Adonai B'nei Rapha. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones, heal our people speedily in our day. And no more amen.
Amen. We're sending healing to everyone who needs healing this evening. We'll continue our service with Kiddush, and we'll invite you to rise. We're on page 55.
Just so you can see it, it's here, but I cannot play and hold the Kiddush cup at one time. So it's there, and you'll see it again. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim Shabbat kodecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim. We continue with Aleinu, page 55. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, ha'tev geruva liotzer breshit, shelo asan ki goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chahamonam, va'anachnu koreim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech machei hamachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notes shamayim ve'yosei haaretz u'moshav yikarov b'shamayim ima'av ushkinatu zah v'gohei meromim u'Eloheinu einod emet malkeinu efezulato kakatu v'torato v'yadata hayom v'hasheruta ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim imam ve'aretz mitachad ein od. Kakatu b'tortecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar haya Adonai le'melech kol ha'aretz vayom ha'hu yihyeh Adonai echad Ushemo
This week, we are lovingly remembering the following Yartzites: David Goldberg, Rose Goldstein, Reva Jackson, Irving Kaftal, Etta Leventhal, Hugh Magnus, Abraham Schwartz, Esther Silver, Paul Vanitsky, Helen Wagman, Walter Abramson, Avi Birkenfeld, Randy Fields, Mildred Pickus, Paul Saltzman, Arthur Spector, Beverly Ginsburg, David Hadar, David Lavin, Flor Shakiban, Bernice Sigmund, Yoav Friedman, Bessie Geller, Benjamin Griefer, Sidel Schultz, Helene Tanneman, Harold Thorne, Robert Davis, Julia Greifer, Brinna Jabkowski, Francis Jacobson, Murray Kleinman, Sylvia Kleinman, Kenneth Mitchelson, Faye Perlman, Henry Skernick, Julie Deitch, Paula Klein, Joyce Lurch, Jean Mallet, Ira Raceman, Natalie Scherer, Jerome Selig, Hannah Sonnabend, Louis Cohen, Harold Gerber, Marvin Gordon, Leslie Hollos, Jay Legrand, Edwin Mendelson, and Irving Tochner. We're also mindful of the recent passing of Helen Garcia. I know we have Diana Vigil here with us on Zoom, and we're all thinking of her. Helen was her sister. We're all thinking of her during this difficult time. For anyone who's in a period of mourning or observing a Yartzeit, we invite you to please rise and join us. We're on page 58 for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra kirute ve'amlich malchute v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We have some announcements, a lot of exciting things going on this week. Of course, tomorrow morning, we have our usual Shabbat morning service from our living rooms to yours at 10:30. And get your lunch ready before the service so that you can join us afterwards for a virtual Kiddush lunch together at 12 o'clock when the service has concluded. But probably the most exciting event happening this week is that Sunday night is our big night. It's the finale of Aliyah's Got Talent. I know we even have some people here on Zoom who are contestants. So join us for the live program at 6 p.m. with Howie Mandel. This is a pay-per-view style event, and it's our biggest fundraising event of the year. It's replacing our gala. So you can get a code to watch the show by making a donation of $36 or more at aliyahrocks.com. Of course, wait till Shabbat ends to make your donation online. And for any of you who already voted by donation, your code will be emailed to you Sunday by noon. In addition, don't forget that our congregational meeting, our annual congregational meeting, is on Wednesday night at 7:30. If you are looking for even more of a connection to the outside world, join Rabbi Vogel for his virtual coffee chat sessions on Zoom on Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. Once again, you probably already know this, but aliyahlive.org is always your best resource for these and all of our online services, programs, and classes. So you should check that page regularly. And most of all, we want you to know that we're here for you. Our offices may be closed, but we're always working hard for you. We're always available by email if you're in need of any assistance, but we want you to know we're here for you. And we're wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue our service with Adon Olam, which can be found on page 211.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Bo Yitzchak sir livra, the eight nasa, the half so full, as I melech, Shemonikra, as I melech, Shemon, harmonize with me. Ve'achare kitvot hakol, levado yimlok nora, ve'hu haya, ve'hu hoteh, ve'hu yiyeh v'tifara, ve'hu yiyeh v'tifara, ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni, ve'ham shilo, ve'hafira, ve'lireishi, ve'litachlit, ve'lo ha'oz, ve'hamisraf, ve'lo ha'oz, ve'hamisraf, ve'hu eli, ve'chai go'ali, ve'tzur ve'li, ve'tzara, ve'hu nisi, umanosli, ve'nat kosi, ve'yom ekra, ve'nat kosi, ve'yom ekra, ve'yado afkibruhi, ve'etishan ve'ahira, ve'imruhi, geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira, Adonai li ve'lo ira. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Unmute yourselves for a second and everyone say Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom and